Hi, everybody. Welcome to Creative Academy office hours for July 4th, I guess. Happy 4th of July. We are going to do some work with a MailerLite welcome email automation sequence today, and also connect up the automated email with a sign-up form on Ken's website. So Ken, thank you for volunteering to share this process. And all right, let's get started. I'm just going to log into MailerLite with your account, Ken. And I'll just take a second, and then I'll share the screen once I'm logged in so that you can follow along.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Share screen. This one. Okay, so welcome to MailerLite. Yay! And it is asking us to verify your website domain. So let's go ahead and complete that step as well, because it isn't going to work the way we want it to until that is done. kenjonsauthor.com. I got that all spelled right. Next. And you have Ken at kenjonsauthor.com, right?
Correct.
Okay. You're muted. Perfect. Okay. So they just sent you an email, and you just need to click on the verification link inside of that email, and then it will let us go on to the next step here. You can actually set things up in MailerLite while you're waiting for your verification to go through, but it won't let you send messages, and some of the functions don't fully work until that happens. So it's best if it can be verified right away, then that's great.
Can I shrink the share screen? I don't seem to be able to.
If you hit escape, I think it will let you come out of full screen mode, and then you should be able to move that window around a little bit. Or if it still has you trapped, I can hit stop share for a minute.
No, I can't get out.
Okay, there you go. Released.
All right, I have clicked.
Perfect.
It took me to a login screen, and welcome back login.
Yeah.
Should I log in or not?
I don't know if it needs you to log all the way in or not. 1 second. Nope, I just clicked on it, and now it's showing that we have verified. So that is done. You do not need to log in. Okay, so our first step is we want to create a group or two for you. So what I find is very useful is if we actually create a group that is for your website sign up form, so that anybody signing up directly from your website is included in one group. And then we have another group that's your whole mailing list. And then what will happen is if you also are sharing a sign up form on Facebook, you can make a different form and you can connect it to a group called Facebook signups, so that if you want to do a targeted email later and you only maybe want to target the people who signed up through your website, or you only want to target the people who signed up through a certain promotion, that you're able to see where those people are coming from. Because that's also going to give you an idea. it actually tracks the stats of how many people looked at that sign up form and didn't sign up. So you can see what the conversion rate of your forms is, which is really helpful if you know, okay, well, this one maybe needs to be tweaked a bit to work better on Facebook. Or if you know the one on your website's working really, really well, that's great. You can drive traffic to that instead. So it just helps you have a little bit more information. And creating a new group is pretty solid. You just hit create new group and pick a name for it. So what would you like to call your whole readers group? Do you have, some authors call it like their VIP readers group or their whole list or whatever. It doesn't show them what they're called. It just shows you on the back end. So it's whatever term is going to mean the most to you.
Let's call it entire readers group.
Okay. Perfect.
Or ERG.
You may make that sound yet. We'll see. Okay, so we have entire readers group, and then we also website sign up form subscribers. We'll call this one so that we know that these are the people who came from your website form. Okay, so we actually have a form already in your website, which is great. So we'll connect those up after. But what we want now is when somebody signs up through the website form, we want two things to happen, right? We want them to get copied to the entire readers group list so that they're appearing in both places. We don't want to move them. We want to be able to still send to that subgroup later. The good thing about MailerLite is it doesn't charge you for each time a person is on a list. It only charges you for unique subscribers. So you can have people on like 15 lists and they only count them as one person when it's looking at your subscriber maximums, which is not actually the case in all of the service providers. MailChimp charges you by instance of a person on a list. So you have to be a little bit careful how you set it up. So fortunately for us, we don't have to worry about that. So automations at the top. Oh, let's check it. We just have to check the approval status. Thank you for completing that. Okay. MailerLite is gonna, and they do this for everybody. They just do an approval on your account once you've verified it before they actually open up everything. So we'll take a look. We may not be able to do this until tomorrow on the automation side. Let's see. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. They can't be activated, but we can still make them. So our first workflow is going to be, and I like to name these of what they're doing so that I remember. So wait, we want to take people from the website form to list of all subscribers, right? That's what we want this to do. And the trigger is that whenever a subscriber joins a group, we want them to be copied to the other group. So when subscriber joins a group, the website form for subscribers group, then we want to trigger a workflow. So we click on this. Maybe it's going to make me hit save first. Yeah. The next action is going to be to take an action. We want it to copy that person to another group. And we want to copy them to the entire readers group. Okay, and then we're going to hit save again. So this shows you what's happening. So whenever somebody joins a group, website sign up form subscribers, they're going to get copied to a group, the entire readers group. Okay? So far, so good. We'll have to come back in here and turn this on after your account's fully activated. But for now, the important part is we've made this. So now when you click on your automations, you're going to see that in the list of all the automations that you have. And we want to have a separate automation that's set up to send a welcome email whenever someone joins the list of all subscribers. And so that's going to be your general one, and you had created that already and sent it to me, which is fabulous. So create a new workflow. And the workflow name, we're going to call this one Welcome Email to All Subscribers. right? And this is going to be triggered when a subscriber joins a group. And you can see if you wanted, you could have a different kind of a trigger. You could have the anniversary of a date of some kind. You could have on a certain date, it would send them this email. Maybe you have a seasonal title, and every, October 15th, you want anyone who's a new subscriber on your list to get an email about a certain book that's Halloween themed or something. You can time stuff for certain periods. You can also send stuff only when a subscriber clicks a link. So if you wanted to send out an email to all of your subscribers and say, okay, I have an opportunity for you to be a beta reader or to be on my ARC team. If you're interested, click this link. Then you can have, when they click a link, it will trigger the information email to be sent to them about your ARC team, right? So there's lots of different ways that you can use these triggers. In this case, we're just going to trigger it when the subscriber joins the group, which is the entire readers group. Okay. And what's going to happen is we're going to add an activity, and this time we want it to be an email. Now, if you didn't want this email to go out right away, if you wanted to wait, say, 24 hours after a person signs up before the welcome email goes out, then you can delay it, right? And that works well if your sign-up email includes like a free download or something, and your follow-up email is asking for a review on Amazon of that book, you might want to delay that second one by a week or two, right? So that might become particularly relevant when you've got your second one out. For now, we're just going to set up an email, and it wants to know what that subject should be. What should the subject line read on your welcome email?
Thank you for signing up, or welcome email. I mean, either seems informational.
So this is what, yeah, exactly. And this is one that they are going to see. So it is good practice, if you can, to include your own author name in the subject of this, so that when it comes, they know what it is and how that's working. So let's say, and you want it to be like clever enough to be intriguing so that they want to click to find out something. Let's see. Let's say hello and welcome from author Ken Johns. We start with that?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna spell your email address right, maybe. Johnsauthor.com. Did I get all those words in the right order?
That is correct.
Okay. And then once you've got in the technical bits, we're going to click on Design Email. And it's going to pop up with a screen that will tell us all about that. And I am just trying to pull up your welcome email here. It disappeared. One sec. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I saved it somewhere super easy to find, which then meant I couldn't remember that I did that. All right. MailerLite file, welcome email for text. Shockingly organized, which means I didn't think to look there. Okay. Now you have a couple choices in here as far as sending emails. You can do the drag and drop editor and make fancy looking ones. I usually actually recommend that you start with the rich text editor, because that just makes it look like a normal email from somebody. And I'm finding a lot more people are opening them these days when they look like an actual email as opposed to very visibly a newsletter. So we're going to choose the rich text editor. Okay, and I'm just going to copy the content from what you sent me, and then we'll do a little tweaking on things. So there's a lovely personalization feature in here. So what we can do is we say hi and then name, and then put in the punctuation, and it will personalize that for the person automatically. We're going to break it up a little bit because longer paragraphs are not as ideal in an email. Fun. Okay. So thank you for joining my VIP readers list and welcome. First, let me assure you I will not be filling your inbox with a constant stream of updates and buy nows. I'm a firm believer in less is more. If I have something important to share with you, like the release of a new book or a sale price on an existing title, you will be the first to know. If something of interest happens behind closed doors at the SSTTC, if you've read the book, you'll know what that is. I'll post it through this channel. Otherwise, please imagine the relaxing sound of crickets, perhaps with the visual of ivy growing in real time on a crumbling castle wall. Love it. It's perfectly branded to fit with your book and your tone and your writing, and that is great. Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to add your tagline, right, from your book. So I'm just going to pull up your website. For those of you out there watching this, you're getting a sneak peek at a not yet live website. It's very exciting. Okay. So we want to include your split-second time travel stories in here as well. So split-second, whoops, but we want to spell it correctly. Split-second time.
And the second should be a small s.
I thought Amanda went big S on that.
Oh,
she has corrected on the cover and all over the place.
In the what does she call it? The she gave me a diary of all the ways she would go, and I can't remember what she used for that. You know what?
Oh, we went with all caps on the cover, didn't we? So we didn't actually
caps,
go with
yeah.
that.
Caps all covered, so it doesn't show that way. But
okay, let me check. I know that we did. It must be inside the book. Here, let me check one more spot. I think interior.
I think I was concerned about that, and I wanted to go with the small s because it differentiates it more than it differentiates it a bit more from that other author who's using
right.
second.
I'm just going to make sure we did that right in the print one then, because if we didn't, I will fix it. Oof. Okay. Caps, 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 caps. No.
Yeah, everywhere it's all caps mostly.
Except not in here, like the copyright page. It's not.
I think it is in the body of the story though, and that's where.
Okay.
Amanda's
okay,
rules
so
were
I'm just gonna make a note to check the capitalization. Okay. We'll check it on the back of the book too, because it appears in both places. But for now, we'll put that. Okay, so that's good. We also want to change this to be a color that's one of your colors, right? So that's part of the branding consistency thing. And I have your colors in here.
The share screen broke.
Oh, no, I didn't want to show everybody the back end. I have my Asana open, but it has all kinds of information in it that we probably don't want on the video. So as long as you can still see the MailerLite, we're good.
Okay.
Now we're going to put the link in the blue color that is your color, so that if you use red as links, sometimes it flags it as spammy because lots of spammy people use red.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
Maybe that's not so good. But in this case, you have a lovely blue color that we can use for your links. So we're switching that so that it turns to the blue in here. And we're going to say done editing for a second, and then we're going to look at what we have here. And also so you can see how to edit it after. You can come in and change this at any time, and it will go back to what it was before. So to edit, you just click right on it, and then you can see edit email content and preview. So let's take a peek. And it shows you what this will look like in here. It won't fill in the personalization unless it's actually doing a send. So don't panic if you see hi blank. That will fix itself. And all right, is there anything else you want in there? Do you want like a little headshot of you so they know what you look like? Do you want your book cover in there?
I don't think it's necessary. No.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, what do you recommend?
Well, it kind of depends what you're trying to encourage people to do. If you're super active on a specific social media channel, then it's nice to have a little like call to action. Just say, you know, if you're on Twitter a lot, or if you're, you know, encouraging people to sign up for your BookBub, like follow you on BookBub or something, then you can put a little note that just says, you know, here's where I like to hang out. If you want to connect with me, go here. But you don't yet have your Facebook set up and you're not really super active on there. So I would say, for you, this is great. The only other thing I might suggest is if you do want to kind of encourage readers to email you, then I usually kind of invite that. I just, you know, almost all the time when I send out an email, it'll say at the bottom, you know, I'm here. You can always hit reply if you want to send me an email, or, you know, let me know what you think about the books or whatever, if you want to invite that. Not everyone does in terms of wanting to invite it, but it's just a personal preference thing.
Yeah, we're already doing that with the one page on the website.
Yep, for sure.
Let's not go crazy.
Okay, just to give you some perspective, my mailing list is roughly 5,000 people, and when I invite them every single time to send me an email if they want to say something, and I think I usually get maybe 15 people when I send out a newsletter that might reply, and that's like if I ask them a specific question. So you're not likely to get flooded with things. It just makes you seem approachable. So totally up to you. Not a requirement. You can leave it out and then just see how it goes. But yeah, it's just supposed to match the tone of however you want to interact with your adoring public. So yeah, you get to decide exactly what that looks like.
I think we'll just leave it like this for now.
Perfect. Okay. So now anytime a subscriber joins a group, which is the entire readers group, then they are going to get the hello and welcome message, which is great. So normally there's a little box in the top right corner that says on or off, and it's just a toggle, and it'll be green when it's on. So you'll have to go back in here and just click on once it's actually active, which should be tomorrow. They're usually very fast about approving accounts. Okay, so we have created our workflows. Now we need to connect your website form to this workflow so that we make sure that people are getting signed up to the proper groups. Okay.
Do we need to move the website from your URL to mine before we do that?
Oh, I'll move it over, but we actually are going to move the whole thing as a package. So whatever we set up in here is going to start working, and then once we move it, it's still going to work just exactly the same, because we're not actually connecting the web address, we're connecting the form module behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we can get everything precisely perfect before we move it, and then we'll have added your last couple of blurbs and get your buy links for Amazon in here before we make it live. Okay, so we want to, it may take me a couple shots to find the editing spot here. We'll see how this goes. The wonderful thing about Divi is you can do anything with it, and there's about 19 ways to find everything. So, okay, so email opt-in. Here's shot one. Okay, content, here we go. So under the form, it's asking which email account to connect it to. It's got a whole long list, but we have chosen MailerLite because that's what you're signed up to. And when it says select a list, account name. Okay. We are going to call this one, what did we call it in the other thing here? We called it
website.
Yeah.
Website sign up.
Wherever possible, we're going to match the exact words so that if ever we're trying to reconstruct things or fix them later, we know. Website sign up form subscribers. Okay. Website sign up form subscribers. Okay, and we need an API key. I believe it's under integrations, and I think this will work before it's authenticated, but maybe not. WordPress. Yes. Copy. Submit.
What does API stand for?
Authentication protocol, something I'm not really sure.
I'm just curious.
But it's basically it's a one-off code that's generated by an app that says you're giving permission for your website to connect with that information, and you can only get an API key from inside your account, and they're unique, and that way if something doesn't have an API key, it can't connect without your permission. So yeah. Now it lets us select a list. So what that did was it connected your MailerLite account. So now we can say we want website sign up form subscribers. And we want a single name field, which is just their first name. So when they have successfully sent that message, right now it just says success. Do you want it to say anything different than that that's personalized? About Ken will get back to you as soon as possible. So right now it just says, oh no, because they're signing up for a list. It's not your contact form. Success. Check your email for confirmation.
And the confirmation is the welcome email?
Yes.
Okay. So they won't get two. They'll just get the one.
No, they should just get one. We're going to save that and update that. And then we're going to test it, and I will be your first random newsletter subscriber. Okay. Big milestone is always when the first stranger signs up for your newsletter, somebody that you don't know. Okay. Yes, CJ Hunt for sure. Okay, subscribe. Really important. Woo, there we go. There's our little message we just put in there. And we're gonna see if the confirmation arrives in my inbox. It may or may not, because if the authentication hasn't finished yet, it might actually not send yet.
Right.
Let's find out here. Nope, not yet. Okay, well, I'll check again later. It
Sure.
should release once you do that. And then in here, under subscribers, normally what you will see then, normally it will show your actual subscribers. Try and refresh. Nope, I think they're in the middle of authenticating your account. Anyway, it'll show up in here under groups, and it'll have me as a subscriber in that group when it starts working again. Okay, so we have successfully created your welcome email, we have successfully created your groups, and we have connected your email to your website form. which is great. So I'm going to hit stop sharing on this. And we can check that off our list. I'll pop back in there and just make sure everything worked properly a little later, but as soon as they approve your account. Okay, and part 2 is Facebook group creation, right?
Oh, just so you know, I got an email from MailerLite saying, sorry, we can't approve your account. Here's a reason why your account hasn't been approved. If you believe that it's a mistake, please contact us. It says your website has no or insufficient content. It's because it's looking at the old
it's looking at the old one. Yeah. Okay.
So it says, please finish your website and contact us through email, approve@mailerlite.com for your approval.
Okay. So press pause on that. I mean, what you can do is you can hit reply and you can give them a link to the site build and say, we're just getting ready to move it over. And then they might release it early. Which would be great because we'd really like everything to be working before we make it live. So yeah, that's worth just sending them an email and giving them the URL of our temporary site and say, we're just trying to connect this up before we move it over. Is that possible to do? We'll be moving it in the next, you can say we'll be moving it by the end of the week. And that you won't be sending out any emails until after it's all moved over.
Okay. Do you want me to do that right now or just?
No, you can do it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it open and then that'll remind me to do it.
Sure. Okay, so next bit is Facebook. And for this, I think if you actually create the page, that might work the best because you're going to be logged into your Facebook account in order to create the business page.
Okay.
And then you can share your screen and we'll follow along with you. So if you want to log in first to your Facebook, and then once you're logged in, hit share screen and I'll talk you through it. And I'm just going to send you right now the header that we made for you via email. Okay. Okay, hopefully that works. Okay.
I'm logged into Facebook, but I still haven't seen an email from you show up.
Okay, yeah, it'll come any second. We can get started on the other stuff and then we can add that as we go. If you want to hit share screen.
So are you seeing this?
Okay. Yep. Okay. So in the top right-hand side, there's that little triangle down arrow. You click on that and it gives you an option to create page right under your picture there.
Okay. I've already started one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Great.
Just
Yeah.
Manage page.
For sure.
This is it here. It doesn't have a lot in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Click on that. We'll just edit the one that exists. We don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, I threw a header in here. We can take it out.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So whenever the email does arrive, that is great. If it hasn't arrived yet, then we can.
No, it's still not here.
Okay. I'm actually going to try sending it from a different address too, because my email has been misbehaving the last few days. Okay. This one might work better. Okay. So yeah, we need to do a few different things in here. So the first thing we want to do is adjust your username so that it is author Ken Johns or something along those lines, instead of what Facebook gives you by default is that whole big string of numbers. Okay, so you should have a settings option. Sorry, I gotta move some stuff around on the page. It's all hiding here. Okay, there we go. So let's go general settings. We have a whole bunch of things you'll have to decide about. So whether or not other people can tag your page, who can tag photos on it, whether or not people can contact you privately, whether or not visitors can post to your page, all of those things. So you'll have to think about that a little bit on your own of what you want that to be like. We can also go to the edit page section here. And this lets us change the tabs down the side. So it looked like you turned most of them off, which is good because there's not a lot of those things on there yet. But you can customize which of those are going to appear and not appear. If you scroll down a little bit further, we should be able to see which ones. And you can add tabs as well. So you can add like your website and things like that as well. In the About one, if you click on Settings, we probably want to make sure that that's filled in with a little bit of information about you. Oh, and that is only giving us the share option, not the content. Okay. Facebook just did a huge overhaul, and they actually completely rearranged everything, as they do. And now there's some neat options about who can see your page and not see your page and all kinds of other things too. So, okay, so we want to go back up to the left hand. It's like, sorry, I keep trying to scroll. Nothing's moving. Okay, so we want to.
Would it be more efficient if you just logged in and I watched? It's up to you.
Maybe you could also just add me as an admin on the page, and then I can be in my Facebook, and then I don't need access to your Facebook. So that's also possible. But
I don't know. You'd have to tell me how to do that.
Okay, so let's do that, because sometimes you're going to have multiple people. So where it says page roles down on the left-hand side there.
Left side. Page?
Yeah. No, down. Oops. You can add an admin. Yeah, there you go.
Page support?
And then nope, in the middle with a little.
Roles.
Yeah, there you go.
It is.
So you can add another person and give them editor access. So if you add Crystal Stranahan, I think, let me see which one I'm logged in as right now.
Here under assign a new page role.
Yeah, so if you type my name, type Crystal Stranahan. This is a skill testing question, whether or not you can spell my last name. There you go. So you can click me in the drop down there. And then, so if it's given me editor access, you can give me admin access, and then I can change all kinds of things. There you go. Click add, and I can unadmin myself later.
Pending. Oh.
I have to say yes. Yeah. It's okay. I'll say yes. Okay. Just want to refresh here.
Okay, I have Facebook page banner and Facebook header tag too. It looks like they're both here. From you.
Great. Okay, that's good. So we might as well, you can change that while you're in here. And
showing up as attachment zip 5 and attachment zip 6.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that now. There was an update to Spark, which is the email program that I use, and it's just gone crazy since then, which is not making me happy. Normally, it's a lovely program. Okay. All right. So, in here, if you go to the front side again, where you clicked on the page itself.
Front side page.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you could drive now. You can't drive yet?
Well, I can actually, but you're sharing screen. So I'm gonna okay, we can switch over. If you want to stop sharing screen, then I will start sharing screen since I am now logged in. Okay.
You're driving.
I am indeed. Now things are going to happen when I click on them. That will be better. Okay. So we're going to change the cover image, and we are going to choose from photos.
Oh, I haven't put it in there. Is that from, yeah.
Upload photo. There we go.
So you're going to pull it right from you instead of.
Yep, but you'll still have it. You can save the other one in your files after all that. And we did actually make two different ones because there's different ways that Facebook can crop things. And so we made two to test them. This was the favorite because of how it crops for mobile. And you'll be able to see after. The trick is getting it so that it looks nice on the desktop, but when you drop the size down for mobile, that it still looks good. It's not going to resize for me without actually being on the phone. But yeah, so basically this one will then crop, but you won't lose anything super important. You're still going to see a little bit of the castle. It's just going to cut off the edge of it. Whoop. And it'll cut off a little bit here, and it'll cut off a little bit of height, but you still end up with all the key stuff in the middle, which is great. Okay, so we are going to give you a username. We just clicked on the create page at username to do that. And do you want to be author Ken Johns or Ken Johns author?
Well, we might as well stick with Ken Johns author because that's what the website is, and it'll just make it real easy to remember, right?
Perfect. Solid strategy. I like it. All right. You now have an official URL for your Facebook page that does not require a million numbers in a string. And you can see that your username has now been changed as well. So when people search for Ken Johns author, this will pop up. Nice and easy.
Okay.
We want your about page to be customized also, right? So we can enter your website here. And you definitely want to do this.
Yep.
KenJohnsAuthor.com. And that way when we move your current content over to that site and it becomes active, we don't have to change this. It's still going to be the same. For now, they're only going to see your old one, but it'll pop up in a few days with the right one. There's all kinds of other stuff you can add here. If you have other accounts, like Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, there's all kinds of stuff in here you can add if you want. We are not going to do that right now. I think you probably don't want them to have your phone number. It's up to you if you want to put your email in here or not. They can always contact you through Facebook. If you don't care to share your email, that's fine. And there is a contact form on your website, so that's okay too. Okay, a start date. Some people put this in as when they started writing. Some people put it in when their first book got published. Some people don't fill it in at all. These are kind of designed for businesses, so up to you what you want or don't want to put in here. And you can fill in as much of this other info as you want. None of it's required at all. So I'll leave that up to you to decide. This, add a button. This one is a really good one to use. So what we want is for people to, you can have them learn more about your business, contact you, book with you, download your app. That's not really what we want. So learn more. might be a good button, and then you could have that connect either to your book listing on Amazon or to your author website, whichever you prefer. If we do book with you, yeah, no, that's not what we want. Never mind. Learn more. Yes, please. And it's going to ask, where do you want this to go? So we're going to put it in as your author site for now. Okay, finish. So now your button is customized. So you can test the button, which is always a good idea. And you can see for now it goes to the old site, but that will change. Okay, so we also want a little bit of information on here. Where's our actual... Okay, so they're calling it a story now. And that's where you can actually add your information if you like. We can just add your cover photo, add that, and we'll shift it so that it's nicely positioned. And split second time travel stories. And then we could put in your about information from your website here. Oh, not from that site. Oh, we want from the other site. So I'm just going to pull. It is good to be consistent across platforms. So that's a nice way to do it, is just pull from your about Ken. And okay, so now this shows up. Oh, except for it didn't show up with your name. Let's just go ahead and edit that story so that we include your name in there. How about author Ken Johns is. Author Ken Johns is the son of a biology professor. There you go.
Do you think the word author is necessary? It's all over the page, really.
It is, but this story could be viewed and shared without it being inside of here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's not a bad idea. And this is also a keyword secret, is it's one of those things where the more, I mean, you don't want to totally overuse it, but at the same time, you don't know where these pieces are going to appear and who's going to see one thing and not the other thing. And the more times you use the keyword, in this case, your name, the better, because it may be that there are one or two other Ken Johnses out there who may or may not be authors. But yeah, using it in context definitely just helps people to find you.
There's a scientist writing somewhere in the States.
Ah, nice. Okay, so now you've got some about text in here, which is great. And you don't yet have photos and all that kind of stuff. Some of these things you can take off your sidebar if you like. This is kind of the key stuff. So you've got your custom thing here now. You've got your learn more button going right to your site. You've got a nice header that is branded with your look and your author logo and your colors and your book title and your book image. So that kind of covers all the bases for the basic Facebook setup. And now we're gonna I'm gonna go back to the basic URL. We're gonna steal that, and we're gonna make sure that on your website that gets connected as well. Okay. So that's the basics of making a Facebook page. Making it's actually the quick part. Then putting stuff on it, maintaining it, sharing it with people, that's a different story. But for now, that is the key part. Okay. Now, what did we have? I think that was all of the things that were on our list. And it was very nice of everybody else to let you have this private hour so we could get through all those things perfectly on time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stop on the office hours recording since we are at 6 o'clock. But if you stick around, then we can finish up our debrief, and that will be great.
Okay.
Thank you for being an excellent volunteer, a good guinea pig. And hopefully whoever's out there watching this will now have a solid idea of how to set up their Facebook page and how to set up their MailerLite stuff connected with their website.